So we're on chapter 27 of 32, so we're getting close to the end. I hope you're enjoying the story. Let's get started. He was astounded. How could the cops be here already? The team had gotten away before any officers reached the Palomino home to investigate the alarm, and Swindle should be at the hockey game. For a moment, Griffin actually thought about turning his bike around and making a break for it. How crazy was that? A fugitive living on the lam, never to see his family or friends again. No, there was nothing to do but face the music and hope for the best. At least he didn't have the card on him. The police couldn't prove anything without that. Steeling himself, he ditched his gloves and stocking cap in a bush and pedaled for home. Hey! Two uniformed officers were running across the lawn. A third figure was right behind them. Dad. Before Griffin could dismount, the larger of the cops grabbed him under the arms and hauled him bodily off the bike. The man's partner snatched the smart pick and held it up to Mr. Bing. Sir, is this a prototype that was stolen from your garage? Stolen? The truth came crashing down on Griffin. This had nothing to do with the robbery. Dad must have gone to investigate the noises coming from the garage. When he found his invention missing, he called the cops. Mr. Bing looked shocked and embarrassed. I'm sorry, officers. It seems I've been wasting your time. This is my son. To Griffin, he said, What were you doing with my prototype? Griffin was so relieved to be off the hook for the baseball card that he had a hard time working up a shamefaced expression. Ben wanted to see how it worked. We were just picking pine cones out of trees. The senior officer spoke up. You weren't anywhere near Park X, were you? We've had reports of some vandalism over there. Broken window, alarm signal. Mr. Bing stepped in. No, his friend's house is nowhere near there. I'm afraid this is all my mistake. I apologize for dragging you over here. Griffin withered under his father's disapproving gaze as the officers got back in their car and drove away. Mr. Bing returned the invention to its place in his workshop. You nearly gave me a heart attack, he said finally. When I stepped into the garage and the prototype wasn't there, I just about lost it. I've poured my blood and sweat into that baby, not to mention most of our savings. Griffin studied his sneakers. Sorry, Dad, but what he wanted to say was, we're going to have more than enough money to develop your invention, and we won't have to sell the house to do it. What were you thinking? If you and Ben wanted a demonstration, all you had to do was ask. A ghost of a smile tugged at his lip. So, how did it go? Did the prototype perform up to expectations? It was like a sequence from a movie, the telescoping pole defying gravity to snatch the card away from Darren in the nick of time. Oh, Dad, he said earnestly, in a million years I never would have believed what a smart pick can do. The text message came halfway through the second period in the Rangers Maple Leafs game. Ultra Tech Security Alert System. Time of alert, 8:47 p.m. Attention, Palomino S. Wendell. An alarm signal has been received from the following address, 531 Park Avenue Extension, Cedarville, New York. Ultratech Central Station. Monitoring has reported the incident to police. Never before had the highways of New York City seen a Honda Element driving at such reckless speeds. Weaving in and out of traffic, S. Wendell Palomino streaked eastward toward the Cedarville exit. He was still doing at least 60 as he screeched to a halt inches from the police cruiser in his driveway. The dealer was already breathing hard as he rushed up the front steps and fixed his sunny-side-up eyes on the officer positioned at the door. You're the homeowner? She inquired. Palomino nodded, but stood there wheezing, incapable of speech. There's been a break-in, the officer informed. The entry point was from the roof through the bathroom skylight. It looks like the thieves got what they were after. Your safe had been burned open, probably by blowtorch. Never mind the safe, Palomino babbled frantically. What about my turkey? Your turkey? The agitated dealer blew by her and ran into the kitchen, where a horrifying sight greeted him. What had once been a 20-pound turkey was now perhaps a 3-pound skeleton. Luther and the hired German shepherd lay side by side on the tile floor, too stuffed with ice-cold meat to do more than raise their heads and growl. We found one suspect hiding in the basement, a Mr. Lamar Fontaine, but he seems to be unconnected to the crime. His ID said he works for an auction company. We think he walked in on the robbery and the dogs chased him down there. He's pretty shaken up." "But what about the real thieves?" Palomino wailed. "Why didn't the dogs go after them?" Impossible to tell," the officer replied. "The turkey was probably used as a distraction." Palomino knew the truth was much more awful than that. He could see right through the turkey ribs that the chest cavity was empty. Discarded on the counter was the Ziploc bag that had kept the card clean and dry inside the frozen bird. The Bambino was gone.